Welcome back to the How to Draw an Anime Character mini-series. This is the 6th video, and in this video we're going to go over shoes. We're just going to go over some very basic shoes just to break down the shape, how they work, kind of different angles in which your character may be posing in. Well, I'm going to go through 4 different methods because I feel like shoes can be a bit difficult, and there's no real one quick and easy way to do shoes, especially more complicated ones. So I guess the best way to get a hang of it is just to start off simple and then build your way to more complex designs. But for our first method, method 1, we're just going to be doing some flats. Some very simple flats, okay? I have the sketch for the foot done. All we got to do now is really just place the shoes on. This tutorial is, mind you, this tutorial is to be done under the assumption you've already done your rough and refined sketches, and if you've come on new and you're wanting to learn poses and more proportions, I would highly recommend that you go check out the first 2 videos of this mini-series as we go over those topics first. But this is all about, okay, we've sketched our character, now we just want to draw some shoes on them. So that's the stage that we're at. And basically I've broken down our, like, what we had last time on our character. We already had some shoes pre-drawn, but I've just broken it down back to the basic foot just to show you how I'm going to chuck these onto the rough sketch. So method 1 is literally just get a shoe design that matches the shape of the foot and one that's very close to the skin. So like flats, for example. A lot of runners and chunkier shoes are bigger than our feet, so obviously they're going to sit differently on our character. But method 1 is all about keep it simple. Keep it simple. Let's just trace what we've already done. That's basically it. That's method 1. So basically all I did was just follow the sketch and chucked on some flats. That's it. And if you want, you can make it a little bit fancy. You can add a bow if you want. You can add like diamantes and pearls and things. You can do whatever you want with these. That's one way to get some shoes on your character, some slippers or like flats or something. And when it comes to like coloring and stuff, there's really not much to it. Like, especially when we're wanting to keep a simple art design, right? We gotta keep it simple, keep the colors simple, keep the rendering simple. Yep, that's basically it for the first method. Simple flats, simple shoes. Now we're gonna move on to method number 2. So method number 2, this is all about heels, and I just want to break this down first for you. We're gonna do a simple heels design, but when it comes to heels, you gotta understand that the foot sits like this. You got the heel of the foot goes down, and then the flat part where your toes are. During your initial sketch, if you intend for your character to be wearing heels, I would highly recommend that you draw them in that pose first and foremost, because it's a lot easier to get it done first than to have, say these flats, for example. And if we wanted to turn these flats into heels, we'd have to go back, do that, bring the foot down, flat, heel, bring the foot down, flat. Like, you'd have to redraw the whole thing. But yeah, let's get started on some heel drawing. So with this method, basically what I'm going to do is I'm not going to draw the shoes on. I'm going to be using one color, which I'm going to use black. And I'm just going to color in where I think these heels will go. And by coloring where I think the heels will go, I've basically already drawn these heels. I've just gotta now trace it. Trace what I've already made. Simple. That's some simple heels done. That's our second method, where we basically just get one color and just draw the shape, draw the thick shape. Sometimes it's easier to do that than to just draw the shape itself. So like for example, I'll give you another example, right? Say I wanted to draw a star. Okay, I'm just gonna color in the star. It helps you look at silhouettes, and then you can balance out your silhouette. Bam, now I can lower that, and I can just trace. I can trace that. Which, doing the first shape, this, is easier than having to draw this. So that's basically the concept that I'm trying to do. Now we're on to method 3. Method 3 is gonna be probably the most complicated. It's a way where we break down these shoes, right, into shapes. But I think these shapes are a little bit hard to recreate over and over again while maintaining proportions. So I'm still going to show it to you anyway. This is method 3. Let's get into it. This shape, this is the shape we're trying to recreate. It's very strange. Let me draw it onto our reference. So basically, we have the top of the shoe, right? Top of the shoe. And then we're going to draw... It's like a cube, but also a cylinder. Very strange, very strange. And then we cut it off where the sole of the foot is, right? And then we come down with this triangle looking shape. Same over here. Now, when the shoe's coming forward, it's got a few extra steps. This is why it gets a little bit strange, because depending on the angle of the shoe, it will completely change the look of this breakdown image. I think this is a little bit too complicated of a method, and I don't personally use it, but I'm gonna still demonstrate it because it might work for some people. Doesn't work for me, but it might work for some other people, so we'll give it a crack. Another problem that I just realized when it comes to these kinds of shoes, so these are runners, right? And with this method, it doesn't... You think too hard of the structure of the shoe that you forget that the shoe can be flexible. Like with runners and sneakers and stuff, they're rubber, they can bend. So sticking to this method kind of will keep the shoe stiff, and it's not gonna look very flexible. At least when you try to adopt this method over and over again, you tend to lose, or at least I do. I tend to forget that, hey, the shoe is flexible. It's made out of rubber. It doesn't have to be stiff and still. I can make it move a little bit more flexible. Now this is where we get to the tricky part, right? Because now we have to actually draw the shoe. And I feel like these guidelines don't really give much. Like I could probably do the very basic, like even then, I think this is, for this shoe, it's too small. Like I need to make it thicker. Like it's hard for me to picture the shoe by doing this method. That's basically some runners with a third method, which I'm not a fan of because it took me a long time to get this. To get this, I'm not even kidding. To go from this to this, it's just way too complicated. Even for me, I still think it's overly complicated, and like I didn't even keep to that guideline in the end. It's too hard. I don't know. My brain don't work that way. So it might work for you, and if it does, good, fantastic, use it. But for me, it just does not. Now on to the last and final method. So this method is going to be quite similar to how we sketched our initial character, like this. So we had simple shape, and I'm just going to draw the shoes on, basically, with the hole. That's the end of the foot, that's the heel, and then we go down and we work from there. That's it. That's basically it for the shoes. That's my method, I guess, that I do, is that I just draw them on. I feel like when I think too hard about it, it takes me forever to do. If I just draw it, don't think, just draw it, it cuts the time in half. At least for me. Maybe it's different for you. But now that we have finished our trace and recreate, we can now chuck it onto our character. And that's basically it. There's not really much to it. Especially if we're chucking shoes on our character, it's gonna be pretty simple like that. A lot of our attention, we've got to remember, is gonna be on the face and on the eyes. Our attention isn't usually on the shoes, so it's okay for it to be a little bit messy and a little bit not as refined, but yeah, that's the point. That's the point. Our attention is gonna be on the face. I hope you learned a lot in this video, and leave a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe. I am a small baby YouTube channel, so any support and all support goes a long way for me. And also, you won't miss out on the next couple of videos in this miniseries. The next I think we're going to be going on is skin colors and skin tones. Basically how to get like a color palette for skin. Yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye!